Nicolas Solov is going to be starting from the front row alongside Gabriel Gomez. He's down in 7 as it stands in the classification, but he has one less qualifying heat than the driver just in front of him, Harvard Lindblad, who managed to win his last race. So he could actually, with good results, if he can, get past Arvid Lindblad in the classification. That would give him actually a better starting position for tomorrow's final. But now, let's see what's going to happen. We have 10 laps to go through for the Group A and C. Here's the grid in full. Gabriel Gomez starting from pole position, Nicolas Solov by his side, Timothée Kucharczyk in Luigi Coluccio from row number 2. Row number 3 we'll see Martin Stenson and Karol Pasiewicz. Then we have Tuka Taponen, Markus Kayak, Ariel Elkin, August Turbo, Nicola Pitirati, Christian Bertuca, Emily Kovisto, Mark Astelic, Matteo De Palo, Gustav Iniewski, Luca Griggs and Dario Vezzaro.
Don't count out Markus Kayak. He could be a real threat for the podium. And it would be wonderful to see the Estonian flag. Gomez, Solov, Kucharczyk and Coluccio off on the second row of the grid. The third row, Stenzorn and Pazovic, Taponen, Kayak, Elkin, Turbo, wait for it. Are we going to go green? Yes, we are. First corner. Gomez launches through and goes forward. Solov is trying to hold it round the outside. Stenzorn is going to try and get on the inside though and takes third. Solov is trying to be forceful, but he can't quite keep it together and he drops to 5th in the end. So Solov has got a lot of work to do in this one. He drops back into 5th position. Kucharczyk through to 2nd behind Gomez. Then Stenzorn. A few other drivers trying to work their way through. A couple of drivers off on the background. So it looks to me like one of the Pragas. I think that's Arthur Rojon. So Kevin Quevedo got away from the scene, but Arthur Rojon, I'm afraid, is out of the race up at turn 5.
Yeah, the Frenchman is trying to get going again, but can he actually try or can he succeed? Yes, he just did. So Arthur Rojon is still in this race, but quite unfortunate turn of events. Then Stenzorn is going through as well on the 35 of Karol Pasiewicz. It was beautifully made by Martin Stenzorn, who has just behind the 24 of Timothée Kucharczyk, who's going to try to fight back into the last corner. He's having none of it at the moment as Martin Stenzorn is making his way through as a complete lap number 1. Here we go, Stenzorn in 2nd, far off actually Gabriel Gomez, who has already a 1.7 second advantage, taking advantage obviously of the battle happening between his rivals just behind. But Kucharczyk up in 2nd, and Stenzorn up in 2nd in front of Kucharczyk on your picture under the pressure of this is the number 35 of Karol Pasiewicz. Solov is very much in the mix as well. Coluccio, Taponen, Elkin, Markus Kayak dropping to 9th place in front of Christian Bertuca. As for the top 10, this is right now. But look at Martin Stenzorn, the pace he's been having for the past 2 laps actually. He's been able to get ahead of Timothée Kucharczyk, but pull away. Oh, and one of the Praga, this is Arthur Rojon, I'm afraid, the 48. Who after getting back on his own into the track is going to have to get back into the scale and Parc Fermé. This is race over for the young Frenchman.
Well, there's Ariel Elkin trying to dive through on the inside of Tuka Taponen and make up a position, but the Israeli can't quite make it happen. They come through the hairpin at the final sector and onto the straight. Stenzorn in 2nd is gone as he tries to close up on Gomez. But Pazovic up to 3rd, as we know. Kucharczyk, Solov, Coluccio, Taponen, Elkin and Kayak in the top 10, and that's not going to do any favours for Kayak. There goes Solov on the inside of Kucharczyk. He gets up into 4th position. We need to watch out for Markus Kayak. He's really struggled to make an impression in this one, a 2nd and a 3rd in the previous 2 heats. Now he finds himself down in 9th position. This is not going to help out Markus Kayak's bid to remain in the top 5, but for Solov, getting into 3rd position will definitely pay dividends for him. He needs to try and do some work to close up on Pazovic if he can get into 3rd, as Coluccio gets up the inside now of Kucharczyk. He makes the overtake, and he's not going to be the only one if Taponen keeps on banging 7 bells to the rear bumper of Kucharczyk. But he's going to get some help down the straight, I think, from Ariel Elkin. Elkin's not going to wait around for long, though, so Taponen needs to get this move done quickly.
It's fair to say that we haven't seen much, and there he goes through as well, beautifully made by Tuka Taponen, and he takes Ariel Elkin with him. So that's 2 positions dropped for Timothée Kucharczyk in just 1 corner. So he's going actually from 6 to 8 at the moment with Taponen and Elkin left battling, as we have the World Racing teammates up in the lead as well. This is number 18, isn't it? This is further back, my apologies. We have Markus Kayak actually dropping to 10 with August Turbo just behind 10 and 11 respectively. So let's keep an eye on that as well. Martin Stenzorn up into 2nd and the fastest on track in 1 minute 0.4. He still have 1.2 seconds to climb against this young man, Gabriel Gomez, who really had nothing to ask anybody. He just made his job, and he pulled away 1.7 seconds in just 1 lap and a half, but now it's decreasing actually. So that's going to be very interesting to see how much Martin Stenzorn will be able to catch up Gomez at the front. Actually, he took, and Luigi Coluccio keeps on climbing through the ranks as well. That's very nice and clean from Luigi Coluccio, the number 20, who just went ahead of Nicolas Solov for 4th place. But I was going to say, let's keep an eye as well on the gap between Gomez and Stenholm in second, because 1.1 second, it just went from 1.7 to 1.1, just 2 laps. So there's the pace for Martino Stenholm. For the back, Solov, after losing a place, is losing another one, even 2. There's a Tappen and Elkin made their way through as well on the Bulgarian driver. So not the scenario that he had in his mind. Unfortunately, Nicolas Solov, as is going from 5th to 7th in the ranking.
But nicely orchestrated there to put himself up another position. Took a Tarpanen as he welded his way through on the inside of Ariel Elkin to defend the position. Stenholm is within a second now of Gabriel Gomez, and we're only on lap 5 out of 10, so there's still plenty of time for Gomez's lead to be sliced in half at the very least, as Martinius Stenholm on the Leclerc chassis is slowly gaining ground. There is Solov running in 7th position now. Up the inside, 3 wide into the hairpin. That is brave, as August Terbo desperately tries to hold his weight in the inside line. That was Marcus Kayak losing ground, in fact. Kucharczyk had the inside line nailed, and now we've got Christian Bratuka trying to get through on the inside line. Gustav Wisniewski's lining up, as is Luca Griggs, fresh off the back of his accident in one of the earlier heats. So there's a lot of drivers lining up to go for a big overtaking move. Isn't happening just yet. Matteo De Paolo is queuing up as well, the Italian on the KART Republic chassis. And then behind them, you've got Emili Coivisto and Herolin Narodini, who are still giving us plenty of drama and suspense. So a lot of big manoeuvres from the teams as they continue to give us plenty of excitement and anticipation. But Nicolas Solov is under big pressure from August Turbo, and Turbo on the inside line, no worries. The Bulgarian just doesn't seem to have pace at the moment.
Yeah, there's no more grip left in his tires by the look of it, and he's dropping position after position. Another one, unfortunately for him, another one in the back for August Turbo, who keeps on climbing up to 7. That's a good recovery effort with 3 places collected already for the world racing driver. That is not going according to plan for Nicolas Solov, as we're back with the number 32. This is Luigi Coluccio. Oh, and the number 40 from KSM Schumacher Racing Team. This is Luca Griggs. Yet another retirement, I'm afraid, for Luca Griggs. This is a second today, as the 35 on your picture. This is Karol Pasievic in 3rd place. Luigi Coluccio, the young leader from the Cosmic Racing Department, down in 4th. Tuka Tapanen from Tony Kart just in his shadow. Luigi Coluccio is very close indeed. Down to turn number 10. If he get a good exit, he may launch his attack on the next hairpin. But watch out for Tapanen, he might have the same idea as well. Coluccio is going for the attack as well. Can he make that stick? Yes, he does. Upper place for Coluccio. Watch out for Tapanen, he's going around the inside. He changed his mind. Gonna try to cross the line on the way to turn number 14. And you can see that Tapanen is saying, let's go for Coluccio, because there's 2 of us against 1. That could actually work. And Elkin as well, trying to get in the mix. But both actually stay within the same order. So good call from Luigi Coluccio. Actually, he's taking advantage of the battle behind him, trying to escape, but he actually, and there he goes once again into turn number 1. There's a response. And Chabar is out of this race by the look of it. Unfortunately, it just happened into the last sector, turn number 14 for the Parolin driver.
Yeah, I'm afraid that is the Kazakhstani out of the race, Arna Shabdar, and that is game over for him and probably for his World Championship aspirations as well. But this battle for 3rd position still has a few chapters to ride in it by my reckoning. Tarpanen, Coluccio, here's Pazovic, Elkin and Turbo, all very close together. Nicolas Solov really struggling to keep momentum in his tyres, and up the inside, there goes Ariel Elkin to slide in the Israeli, but has he got momentum on the exit? No, he just got a little bit too eager and run out too wide. So Pazovic takes back the place as soon as Elkin takes it. He may need some support from August Turbo, but Elkin decides to move to cover. A little bit of a slide sideways. Both drivers defending the position. And Elkin somehow makes it round the outside. That is brave stuff from Ariel Elkin. My goodness, he had his elbows out there.
Yeah, good piece of driving from the Israeli. As we have the number 30 further back. This is Christian Bertuca under the pressure of the number 28 of Emili Covisto from Koski Motorsport. We'll get back to that in a minute. As we have the World Racing teammates, the number 18 of August Turbo, Marcus Kayak just behind as his shadow. This is in turn number 8, and they're respectively in 6th and 7th place at the moment, 6th and 8th place, shall I say. Back with the number 8, Tuka Tapanen is Still Tuka Taponen up in third place, being chased by Luigi Coluccio. Still we have half of a second between Gomez and Martinez Tenzon. We need to have a look as well at the battle at the front, because this is the penultimate lap of this race, and with just 0.3 of a second between Gomez and Tenzon. Now we could have actually the leading order being turned on its head, as well as the battle for third between Taponen and Coluccio. There comes the leader. Tenzon is taking the lead. And watch out for the response from Gomez. Can he try to go around the inside? No, he can't. There's Tenzon is your leader entering the final lap.
Well, Gomez looked like he ran out of grip in the first couple of corners. Tenzon has been resolute in his attack on Gomez throughout this race. Just keep pushing, never know what's going to happen. And Tenzon's resilience and determination has been rewarded with a fantastic push onto the back of Gabriel Gomez. I genuinely thought he had run out of time there. I thought, you know what, he's a quick driver as Tenzon, but this is going to be too big a gap. And not only has he proved me wrong, but he's already dropping Gomez at the rate of half a second a lap. This is amazing from Martinez Tenzon. Just when you think you've seen the best of this boy, he pulls out something special. Nobody knows why, but we certainly know how good he is. And now the Leclerc by Lennox driver is going to come through and seal his final race of the day. Martinez Tenzon for Norway. What a great race. He takes the win from Gabriel Gomez. And in third position, it will be Tuka Taponen. But what a drive from the pint-sized Norwegian. What an amazing run from Martinez Tenzon.
Yes, he went from 1.7 second of a gap to taking the lead in the penultimate lap, entering the last lap. A drive indeed, masterclass for Martinez Tenzon, who collected a 7 and a 4 so far. This is his best result, the first win for the Norwegian driver this weekend, and a strong side to the opposition that you guys are going to have to count with me for the rest of the weekend. But Gabriel Gomez thought maybe too soon that he had the win in the pocket, but with such a big advantage, all he had to do was to keep on pushing. That's what he did. Martinez Tenzon was the stronger man in this one. So victory for the Leclerc by Lennox Racing driver in front of Gomez, Taponen, Luigi Coluccio done in 4th, Elkin in 5th place, the best result for the Israeli so far, in front of August Turbo, Karol Pazevich, Markus Kayak, Matteo De Paolo, Nicola Tsolov. Then we have Timothy Skucharczyk down in 11, with Christian Betuka in 12, Emily Covisto in 13, followed by Erwin Rendini, Dario Pezzaro, Alexander Kubenko, and Bruno Del Pino.
Then Daniel Nogales Lopez finishing up in 18th position, with Gustav Wisniewski in 19. Nicolas Bertolatti is next up, then Max Angelard and Hugo Besson, Robin Sarg and Kevin Quevedo. Carmen Krav, she finished ahead of Mark Kastelich. And then we had the retirements. Jaime Sanz was one of them. And then we also lost Anna Shabdur, unfortunately, as well. We also had retirements from Luca Griggs and Arthur Rojon, who went off on the first lap